My name is Prince Kuro. I'm a founder, business consultant, and a strategist, and I'm also the lead strategist for the Supreme Strategies brand, a management consultancy firm. In the past 5 years, we have helped businesses in different sectors, including fashion, technology, and education, to help structure their businesses and position them for visibility. What inspired me to do the things I do as a business consultant basically is to see that SMEs grow stronger. So most of the times businesses feel that the moment you have an idea, or business owners to say feel that the moment you have an idea and then you launch that idea, then you start making profits, and that is not how it works in reality.
Yeah.
So I just want to be able to help businesses to refine their ideas, because having the idea is like the easiest part, but coming into operations, structuring your business, having the right structures and putting systems in place to help you succeed is another. So I just want to be able to see these businesses do very well and contribute to the economy at large. From my childhood, I've always wanted to find solutions to basic problems right from my home, and then when I went to the university too, I've just always wanted to see how I can find solutions to basic things that happen within the society. One of the things that stood up for me in this my entrepreneurial journey was a time we had a program in Bayelsa some time ago in Bayelsa, where people came to talk about entrepreneurship, and then at one point we were grouped into different segments. So we the segment I belonged to as at then was part of web development.
You built multiple companies over the years. What first sparked your passion towards entrepreneurship and business development?
Right from childhood, I've always been solution oriented. So even when people complain about things, I just see them as problems that needs to be solved. So that idea grew with me, and I coming into the business world, my idea or my ideology for wanting to run business is not just about wanting to make profits, but wanting to see what problems we have and how possible can we address those problems, what solutions can be provided. So it's just basically trying to provide solutions to business, no, to issues surrounding our environment. That's what inspires me.
So, looking back at your early days of building your businesses, what were the challenges did you experience, and how did you really overcome them?
Okay, so just like every startup, I think one major challenge I had was resources, right? But I mean, I feel like these days people over exaggerate it. So when you ask businesses what key challenge you're facing, people, the first thing they say is, oh, what we need is funding. We need the finance to fund our business. But by resources, I don't necessarily mean finances, right? But that's equally important. I mean, starting up, you need to put your operations in place. You need to have some sort of budget for your operations, right? So one of the key challenges I faced as at then was getting people to help me drive my vision. That was a key problem for me. So I knew that I didn't have the resources to get the right set of persons I needed to push the business. I needed people with the right qualifications, with the right experiences. So that was a major issue. But then I was able to overcome it by trying to form strategic alliances and partnerships with the people or the skill sets that I needed to complement myself. And that's what I feel like a lot of businesses should do. So for instance, you're trying to run a tech company. Let's say you don't even have the tech knowledge. You don't necessarily need to be a programmer. If you are, that's an added advantage. But if you are not, you could still start that business and then try to see how you can build collaborations with developers, build collaborations with product managers, product designers, and then by the time you come together, you know that you don't have the resources in terms of finances to pay them at the time, but you could discuss, okay, come, let's build this thing together, and then let me share my equity with you understand? Or they have a basic understanding with them that, okay, for every job that comes in, this is what you get. So all of this was centered around structure. So I would say that I was able to overcome that by being able to put the right structures or systems in place for my business.
Okay. Moving on, the Supreme strategies helps organizations to have clear business structures and align teams around core values. Why do you believe, rather, these two factors are overlooked, but they are very essential for business success? Why are they
Okay,
overlooked in
great.
your first?
So if you ask most businesses, they will tell you that every business, in fact, I mean, that's why every businesses exist. I mean, they want to be able to generate revenue. I mean, to be able to maintain a positive cash flow. So if you ask them what challenges are you facing, they would easily tell you, oh, we are having issues with sales, we are having issues with marketing. These things are good, they are important because these are the things that would bring money, right? But then, if you don't have the right structures in place, you can still be investing so much into marketing and sales processes, and you still would
Yeah,
not yield results.
exactly.
For instance, I'll take a case study. There was a particular client, so I did an assessment on the brand. I mean, this client was well to do. I mean, putting in money into ads, their budget was okay, but they were still not getting the results. Not because they were not harvesting leads or they were not getting leads from their ad processes, but they were not able to manage this lead. So you run adverts, you have prospects, and then at the end of the day, you are not able to manage these prospects properly. You're not
Yeah,
able to convert them into buying clients. That is a structural problem. That is an issue that most persons face. So I feel like having the right systems in place, like trying to delegate responsibilities, letting people know what their responsibilities or their roles are in an organization, and helping them and making them to helping them to adapt to the values of the organization
yeah,
is what would drive that growth, is what would bring that result that you need to succeed. So I feel like these these values or these services that I offer as a supreme strategist are what most business, in fact all businesses, need to survive, because they need to put structures in place,
yeah.
they need to have clear systems. So once these things are in place, it will be easier to attract clients that would pay you.
Okay. Moving on, leadership development is another pillar of the organization. In your opinion, sir, what qualities must an entrepreneur develop to become strong and to become a strong and very effective leader?
All right, great. Like my mentor, Reverend Sam Adeyemi, would say that the basic definition of leadership is the ability to influence, right?
Yeah,
So if you want to be a leader, and first there's self-leadership. Self-leadership basically means the ability to influence yourself,
yes,
and then team leadership, your ability to influence other members of your team, right? So I feel like as a leader, first you should be able to influence yourself, like start by setting goals and then your ability to achieve these goals, staying consistent, right? Being dedicated to those goals, staying consistent, and your ability to achieve them. So if you are able to do that, you're able to manage your own self-leadership, it is easier for you to also manage others.
yes,
And other things you need to look out for, other qualities I look out for in leaders is there's a lot of things, but first, one of the things you need to have as a leader is empathy, your ability to understand your team members, your
yeah,
ability to know how they feel, and then your ability to also delegate tasks. So as a leader, it's not just about telling, yeah, I'm the leader of this organization, I do this, I want to be able to control everything. If you want to do that, at the end of the day, I mean, it
shit
becomes so
over.
overwhelming for
Yeah,
you, and you might not even be able to keep up. So being able to structure things, plan things properly, delegate tasks to people, understand them, how they feel, build the right systems, KPIs to monitor things that they ought to do, and talk to them frequently to know how they feel about their work, and also give them feedback as to what they are doing right and what they are not doing right. That's like being able to communicate to them properly. So I feel like these basic things would help you as a leader to see how you can drive a positive workforce. Yeah.
are you actually open to training or mentoring young entrepreneurs? And if so, what advice would you want to give to them?
Okay. So am I open to that? Yes, but at the moment I am not running that. There's no program that is ongoing. But in the future, it's something I definitely would explore. I mean, it's one of the things that our management consultancy firm does, right? But for now, we're focused on corporate brands, right? We want to be able to provide trainings in to teams to help them to do better. So that's what we're doing at the moment. But in the future, I'd want to do that. But the advice I would give upcoming entrepreneurs basically is that it's good to have an idea, but the idea phase is like the easiest phase. No matter how sweet, how nice your idea may sound or may look, that's like the basic part of entrepreneurship. So if you really want to start a business and keep the business running, you need to know that you need to put structures in place. That's like, so everywhere you go, you hear structures this, structures that. Is because of the importance of the word. So structures basically means put the right systems in place. Try to know who does what, who is meant to do what. You as the founder of the business, how you're able to manage people, what you're meant to do, how you're able to establish partnerships, get collaborations, and put things going. Are you able to generate revenue? So there's a lot of things to consider even before you start running businesses. And if you don't have the startup capital, if you don't have the capital that is required to start a particular business, I'd always advise that you try to form alliances with people, form strategic partnerships with people to help you start your business and build. Don't just have the idea of, I want to run this business all by myself so that when the proceeds come in, I get everything to myself. If you start with that mindset, you are already failing. I mean, people would say that it is always better to have, even if it's 1% of a business that is doing like 100 million or $100 billion revenue, than to have 100% of something that is doing, say, 1 million naira in a year. So, yeah.
Finally, sir, if you were to give business and entrepreneurship advice to every entrepreneur in Nigeria, what would the advice be?
Okay. So for every young person who really wants to go into business in Nigeria, my advice is pretty simple. If you don't have the financial backing to start a business, you can still start, but then you should keep alternative streams of incomes, because I mean, even businesses that have been operating for quite some time, with the harsh economic situations in the country right now, we see how things go. So if you want to start a business, try to make sure that if you don't have the startup capital, try to make sure that you have something by the side that is helping you. So don't just say that you're done with school, you learned a particular course, and all you want to do is entrepreneurship, you throw everything away. No, have something by the side. You might want to get a job with that certificate you have. You might want to have an additional skill set by the side to help you, so that when you start running your business, you would have a stream of income that would help to finance your operations on pending when you have that breakthrough that you want for your business to excel. So it is very important that you have an additional revenue to help you sustain the brand.
Thank you very much, sir. It was an honor to have you.
All right, thank you very much.